Welcome in, one and all. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Da-na-na-da-na-da-na-da.
I cut off early.
We missed the best part of the intro music.
Uh,
Well, welcome into episode 2, week 8. Don't ask us what happened. Um, we
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Been a
Yeah,
while.
we went overtime last time. We decided, we're gonna take a 6-week break to think about it, and replan, our next podcast episode. And in light of that, we're gonna keep this one shorter, right, guys? Right?
yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, surely. All right, week 8. We have the updated power rankings today, and then we have the predictions for week 8 and matchup of the week, and yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. Hopefully, we'll have timestamps so y'all can just go ahead and skip after the power ranks, stay for the power ranks, then you can skip to your matchup. So here we go. Long special power rankings. Longs, walk us through real quick.
All right.
1 through 12.
So this is minutes. I feel like we have to talk about this is minutes after the trades that took place on Wednesday, the 25th. So I just traded away Rashee Rice and Kincaid for Nico Collins, and that Max and Terry trade went through. Should we look over those real quick?
Yeah, let's do power ranks first. We can. Let's do power ranks first.
Okay, never mind. Back to power rankings. Anyways, Gavin's team is just insane. 7-0, highest in overall wins, points per game, second rest of season roster strength. That's now me after that last trade. I'm second. I'm 5-2, decent overall wins, points per game. James's team 3-4 should be higher. Pretty high in the overall wins, which means James is getting bucked. Second points per game. He's great. Max actually was in third in the power rankings I sent earlier today, but the trade moved him down. Something to take note of. Really high in overall wins as well, 48 points per game. He's killing it. Now we have Terry fifth, still 3-4. Way big drop off in between him and Max in overall wins. I don't know what that's a sign of. Open to interpretation. Rest season roster strength's good. Zach is in sixth, 3-4 as well. Higher than Terry in overall wins and consistency, but his roster's worse. We have our own Call Me IR. A little change in the name from last podcast. RIP the fellas. 4-3. A little low in the overall wins than we normally see from our own William Wood. Not very consistent. I don't know. Maybe hopefully it's due to injuries. And Fantasy Pros done like the injuries rest season either. But it's Williams, so he's definitely going to bounce back. I don't think I've ever seen him get worse than fourth in the league.
Come on, let's go.
We got our own whale lover LJ, 4-3, -11 in the overall wins. He's most consistent, but he's got the worst rest of season roster. So hopefully he can keep the ship going, be consistent and get some wins. We got Bret in ninth, 3-4. Lowest consistency, 11th in points per game, average roster. Spencer's in 10th, 3-4, 28 overall wins. And then 11th best rest season roster. Hopefully he can turn it around. And then we have Made of Glass, JPhil, 2-5, 26 overall wins. Number 3 in consistency, and he's got 6th best rest season roster. So things are looking up there. And then we got Pasowitz or Njigba's in Paris. I'm gonna be honest, Jackson. You are pretty much bottom of the barrel in every category. 2-5, lowest in overall wins by a mile. 5th in consistency, lowest points per game, 9th best rest of season roster. And yeah, I mean, I feel like we should talk about the way the power rankings work is if you're best in the category, you get a 1. If you're the worst, you get a 12. You add them up, divided by 7, then you get your power ranking score. Somehow, Gavin is at a 0.71 out of 1, and Passwitz is at a 6.29 out of 12, I believe. And so, yeah, those are the power rankings through 7 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's particularly disappointing for Paslitz because at the beginning of the year, we all thought he had a good draft. We all thought he got like values down the board with Gibbs, Judy, um, and it just hasn't panned out the way we thought it would, which is really disappointing. But I would like to say like there's one, two, three, four, five, six, 3 and 4 teams, and outside the 7-0 team, the second place and third place or in last place team is a 3 game difference. And there's like what, like 8 or like 7 weeks left. So anybody's game still. Anything can happen. We saw 4 trades this week or 3 or 4 trades this week. And we're about to go talk about those. So I think things are heating up. Everybody's kind of getting into a groove, feeling out what they need. So without further ado, let's go check in on the trades. The first significant trade. Oh, what
Can
is
I
it?
add something really quick?
Yeah, go.
You were just kind of talking about that log jam. I think it's interesting to note that the 4-3 teams are lower than 4-3-4 teams.
Yeah.
So like even in terms of that 3-4 log jam, it's still really freaking close with those 4-3 teams. Anyways, I'll get those trades pulled up. How do I
So the
do
first one, the one that kind of kicked things off was the Jefferson, Kyron, me and Gavin trade. That kind of loosened everybody up. They're like, okay, like
How do
it's
I
time to make some moves.
find these?
Um,
Gavin has these already
and
pulled up earlier when he's there we go. Boom.
so here we have I sent a 3-3 roster with 10th lowest points scored and not a full starting lineup. I had to send Jefferson, Kyler, and Warren for Jacobs, Elijah Mitchell, and Puka. I think objectively I lost the trade. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. Puka had a good game. Josh Jacobs had a terrible game, and Gavin was the only one that could afford Jefferson, and Kyron. And I had to get rid of someone. Like I had a great depth team. Like losing 5 players to IR is just like, I mean, what are you gonna do? I can't sit through the next 4 weeks and just take losses and then have a great team for the toilet bowl. I have to shoot for the playoffs now. Really unlucky. Like it makes me discouraged to play fantasy without the 101 and like without my like player and then obviously like a great waiver pickup in Kyron. But I mean, Gavin did a good job. He saw an opportunity being 6-0, taking advantage of a team that needs wins now, and he was willing to take on, the weeks without Jefferson and Kyron, and so I mean, yeah, I would rate this draft for me is I would say it's a B, and for Gavin, it's probably an A plus. Um, I don't know if you have any thoughts about it, Gavin, but I kind of just gave it a quick summary.
I think
Sad to see
it's
your boy Kyron go. I'm sad to see my boy Puka go. He's so good. And I think
Mhm.
Josh Jacobs is someone I'm probably going to miss for the rest of the year, given the fact I'm rolling out Devonta Foreskin and Devin Singletary.
He scores fucking 3 touchdowns a game, apparently.
Apparently Devonta Foreman's the second coming of Barry Sanders, but I think that I might suffer the consequences of trading Jacobs more than I did this past week, is what I will say.
um my thoughts on it. I think it's interesting that William uses the words taking advantage of because it makes it sound like somebody like needed money and went to like the mob for a loan, kind of like loan sharks. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
the image I get of like William was a 3-3 team that couldn't afford to have Kyron and Justin on IR, and so he knew he had to make a like objectively bad trade in terms of value to keep his team afloat.
Mm-hmm.
And like the way those work is you always know who wins. Unfortunately, it's like kind of selling your soul to the devil. Not to call you the devil, Gavin. You're an angel. I love you.
Well,
But like Gavin's in 4 weeks got to be winning this trade, and it's gonna suck for the rest of the league.
I
Yeah.
think it's funny that Williams said he's willing to incur the damage of like having to wait on these players, and then the first week after making this trade, he drops 200 points.
Oh my gosh.
It's like he doesn't even need them, which obviously he got a lot of ceiling hits on that, but still. The only thing I will say that I'm fearful of is obviously I think what we were seeing from Kyron before injury is not what we're going to see when he comes back. Because McVay was already a little concerned about the amount of work that he was getting, and they wanted to make sure they were preserving his health. And then they kind of kept giving him that workload, and he gets injured. So now with Evans and really Darrell Henderson coming back, which we know McVay's really liked Henderson in years past. I think when Kyron comes back, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more of like a split backfield and Kyron's kind of back down to earth as like a mid RB2 and not this like high RB1 that we'd been seeing. So I don't think it's as dry. The biggest thing is Justin Jefferson. Not to say Kyron's not going to be useful whatsoever, but that's my inputs.
Nice. The next trade, was it Jack and Max?
I think
What was
it
that one
was
before?
There was
No,
like
it was an
3
Addison, right?
last-
No, Addison and Devontae.
No, not Addison, but Devontae. It was Devontae and some others.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Next one, Spencer receives Jordan Addison. Gavin receives Devontae Smith. This is just to play on like some positive regression for Devontae and getting the Viking stack off of Gavin's team. I think both teams kind of get what they want here. Spencer's been taking all the lumps with Devontae Smith. It's been costing him weeks. And so he's getting him off his team for a player that's going to be very good until Justin Jefferson gets back in. Could be good with Justin Jefferson. And then Gavin's just getting a more of a ceiling play, taking off Addison, so that it takes away, the logic is that Addison and Jefferson can't both hit in the same week. And so to win a championship, you really need all your players to hit. And so it's like, well, let's get Addison for someone who I view equally, who can hit at the same week as Justin Jefferson, and that's Devontae Smith. So I think that's, the logic of the trade. I'll give both teams an A. I don't really think, a team loses or wins. Spencer probably wins in the short term because we haven't really seen it from Devontae yet. But, it's a second round type draft player. So there's obviously talent and pedigree. So we'll see, time will tell with this trade. I think we just the next one.
Yeah, I mean that's everyone gets what they want, so I think we all agree about that. Gavin, do you have any comments on your own trade here before we move on? Or Jack, if you want to talk as well. Don't want to exclude.
I told Spencer, I think this is a good trade for you because I wouldn't make this trade if I didn't have Jefferson. I'm almost like the way that William was kind of forced into the other trade. I'm almost forced into this one. I think I got a guy of roughly equivalent value, but normally I'd want to hang on to Addison. But I do think that it is a relatively fair trade, but I wouldn't normally try and do a one-for-one type deal like this.
Very fair. All right. Next trade. It should be Max and Terry. Unless I'm just wrong. Yes, Max and Terry.
Take it, Luke.
Oh gosh, I'm taking it. This is an interesting trade. Me and Gavin were talking about it before. And not to be an ass, but our comments were both like, do we want any of these players on our team? Probably not. And that's not to say it's bad, because obviously Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams have upside. Don't get me wrong. But it just seems like we're just kind of moving around a bunch of meh. I don't know how else to phrase it. It seems like everyone in this trade has question marks, and Terry didn't want the players that he gave away, and Max didn't want the players he gave away. That's kind of what I got out of it. I don't know what y'all's thoughts are. Y'all guys take the floor on this.
It's funny that you say that, because as soon as I opened this up, or y'all opened this up, I haven't even really looked at this trade that much. I kind of quickly glanced at it, but I kind of forgot who was in it. And this is just the most mid trade in existence. It's just a bunch of mid players outside of Devontae. Devontae's the only player I can really get excited about here. I can't even really get that excited about Derrick Henry anymore at this point.
I can get excited about Derrick Henry on the Ravens.
Well, yeah, with circumstances changing, yes, I agree. So I think I would edge McClendon here just because he gets the most exciting player, and obviously we've seen Devontae can hit that ceiling, and if Jabrobi ever gets a haircut, then I think Devontae might be getting 30 a game. So, but that's my thoughts. It's just mid.
I agree.
All right. And then final trade should be me and LJ.
Yes, this just went down.
It just went down about 10 minutes ago.
I think what's funny about this is that both the
26 minutes.
people Longworth traded over the past few weeks have been picked up for 8 fob and 22 fob. So imagine buying Nico, who before the bye week was like the wide receiver 16, 17, 18. Imagine getting the wide receiver, a mid wide receiver 2 for 30 fob. I mean, that's just like, unheard of this late in the season. Obviously, it's like, a bad comparison because when Luke was getting those guys, they weren't good. But I think it's a good trade for Longworth. I think he upgrades Nico. Obviously, he jumped up to number 1 in the power rankings, which is really nice. He didn't even need Dalton Kincaid, so it's basically just like hey, let me upgrade my starting lineup. And you were complaining about, man, I just wish I had a second flex. Man, I wish I, could just upgrade my starting lineup a little bit. So I think it was a great trade for Longworth, A+. On my flex side, you're kind of playing into the ambiguity and a tight end need. So it's like being on the lower end of teams, like let's say a bottom 6 team, you have to play into the ambiguity and the uncertainty while still trying to upgrade your lineup. So for Mike Fix Dogs, he's hoping that Rashee Rice, with the correlated jump in target or snap share and the production, that can continue. Rashee Rice is evidently you can see it on the field. He's the best receiver besides Kelsey. And then Dalton Kincaid with the Knox injury. LJ loves Kincaid. He tried to draft him, or he did draft him, and then had to drop him. Yeah, and so this is what LJ is doing. Giving up Nico is unfortunate, and maybe it's just taking advantage of the bye week being gone, which is great for Longworth because now Nico gets him the rest of the year. But I don't know. I mean, you're hoping that Kincaid's talent wins out and he can average 15 plus. I would give LJ a B plus. You hate to lose Nico, especially, but he's only your wide receiver 3. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I'll go last. It's my trade.
I'm gonna say, I think Longworth wins this trade, but I've been the biggest Dalton Kincaid truther for the last year, I would say. I think I've been excited. I mean, I knew I wanted to draft him in our dynasty league because of what I saw from, watching him at Utah. And when I saw he was drafted by the Bills, that got me really excited because that's an elite offense. So I think Kincaid goes as far as McDermott wants him to go. I think Knox needs to be they need to ship Knox away because Kincaid is the future. And if Kincaid takes over that tight end role solely, then I think this could be a trade we look back on, and Kincaid in second half of the season ends up being a top 5, maybe even a top 3 tight end. It's very possible. Cool. So I see the upside here for LJ. I just do think it's funny. The trade itself is just kind of hysterical.
Longworth, you want to end it? Gavin, do you have anything to say? Or
I will say, I'll just say I do see that. I see a lot of potential and a lot like a path for. There is a path for this to be a good trade for LJ. Like as bad as it looks right now, Rashee Rice has a lot of potential. He's getting a lot of good signals from this offense and from this team and snap shares and all that. And Dalton Kincaid could be a pretty serviceable tight end for the rest of the year. So even if it looks a little iffy now, I do think it could still end up in his favor at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
From my perspective, LJK reached out to me and asked what I wanted for Kincaid. We kind of talked about it. He sent me a bullshit offer. I sent one back. Yada yada yada. We left negotiations for about an hour. I was an asshole and texted him again, started him, and then that led to this. This was originally an LJ counter offer I accepted. Feel like I have to put that out there. And yeah, I think it worked well. I mean, I upgraded that kind of shaky flex, although I do think Rashee Rice has a lot of upside. Kind of gaining confidence in that offense. Kincaid, gonna be honest, I didn't really need him. I picked him up off waivers looking to move him. So it was very fortuitous that LJ texted me asking for him. And yeah, I think it's a trade that benefits both sides. It feels weird to say that and it feels kind of sleazy after a trade that a lot of people think I overwhelmingly won, but I think it does actually benefit both sides. And so yeah.
I agree. We'll see. It's exciting. All right, I'm gonna share my screen here.
Yeah, take over.
And we're gonna fly through these matchups. We're gonna do something different this time. We're gonna do it. Is it now, Jack? You're the better here. Is the technical line the spread or the line? What is the technical?
They're the same thing, really.
Interchangeable.
Oh, it's the same thing. Okay. Well, so we're gonna do a spread. Okay, so in this scenario, Jack is minus 13. We're gonna go through and say, hey, are you taking the minus 13, or are you taking Call Me Prof plus 13? Personally, of course, I'm gonna take Call Me Prof plus 13. I'll do a quick matchup and then y'all give your analysis. I still have dudes on the IR. Team's not in full strength, and I'm starting Downs over Lockett, for now. Missing Musgrave, or Musgrave might miss, and Jordan Love's not the best QB. But other than that, I kind of like my team. It's kind of a low ceiling team, but it's kind of like just a, hey, let's keep pushing. Let's keep trying to get wins. On the other side, you have Jared Goff. Is Kirk playing this week? Kirk is playing this week. So Kirk is going to be the one that goes off.
Scoring,
because Jack starts throwing QB every week. So that's, if you have Kirk in other leagues, definitely start him. Jonathan Taylor is splitting with Zach Moss, so we'll see. Maybe obviously they're still trying to work him in. And then Cooper Kupp against Dallas. Last year against Dallas, he dropped 26 on 10 targets, 7 for 125 and a touchdown. That was the only time we played him. Year before that, yeah. So anyway, it seems like it's a cup game. It really does, honestly, which is at the detriment of Puka. So I think this is the key matchup to watch, Puka versus Cup. It's not that they both can't go off, but one of them probably will go off at the detriment of other. Etienne has been going crazy. Look at this touchdown stretch, 2 a game. I don't think that continues this week. I think it's 0 this week. And that is why I'm going to take Call Me Prof plus 13, or Call Me IR, excuse me. Luke, who you got?
I'm going to go William plus 13. I think Jack's team should be valued at around 116. I think Williams' team should be higher than 103.
Jack?
I mean, what the hell? I've lost 5 in a row and I'm a 13-point favorite. What is this, Sleeper? I do like that Sleeper's still valuing my team to be pretty solid. I mean, I feel pretty good about my team. We're just can't get wins. It's ridiculous. I really want to see one player that I'm keeping my eye on, that I'm just waiting to take that next step, is Zay Flowers. It's so frustrating because he's been solid and I can't complain with what he's had, but it feels like he's been better than what he has. Like, he just hasn't had that week where he explodes, and I feel like it's coming. So hopefully it's this week. I don't know if it will
Against
be.
Arizona, probably a blowout.
He just needs. I want him to take that next step. And then the biggest issue for me right now is, besides starting the wrong QB, is just figuring out a serviceable tight end. My tight end position's been killing me. I don't know. I think I'm going to win this week, and I'll take me minus 13 for, to sound confident in myself. But obviously, if I was neutral, I would take Williams spread here. This is kind of funny. But,
All right, next matchup is Passwitz and Gavin, the first place team versus the last place team, and it's only a Gavin -3. Interestingly enough, Joe Burrow against San Francisco. I mean, I think this is Passwitz needs Joe Burrow to drop 25 plus 30 maybe to win this week. I mean, Gavin's coming off a 194 week, and Joe Burrow against San Francisco will be like the difference maker, I think. Because he could, I mean, hopefully he's healthy now and he does well. But if San Francisco, they're really good defense. Running backs are looking good. Receivers are kind of similar to mine. They all kind of seem wide receiver 2-ish. But he's got Goddard, which is good. On the other side, you have Gavin, the juggernaut for now, playing with Gibbs without Montgomery, most likely. Foreman or Warren. Those are interchangeable. I would probably start Foreman because I saw a stat that said, what's the quarterback's name?
I don't know. I don't know his name.
Tyson Bagent, like average depth of target was like 2 yards. And that's because, 3 of it went to Foreman and then a bunch of it went just like screen stuff. And I think that continues. It really looked like their offense went through Foreman and he looked really explosive. So I like Foreman this week. Tyreek Hill against New England. Last time they played New England, I don't think, he only had 15, but they don't have Christian Gonzalez this time. So probably has a better week coming. New addition, Devontae Smith, Mark Andrews, Tank Dell back in the lineup, and Sam Laporta. I'm going to take Gavin -3. I think that's a pretty interesting line. Actually, dude. I think narrative's sake, Passwitz gets on track this week, wins. So I'm taking Passwitz +3, and he's going to knock off Gavin and make him 7-1. And that just sounds so narrative-y, but like I think it's definitely going to happen.
That was going to be my exact reasoning for picking Jackson.
Mhm.
It's the worst. It would be the worst team in the league to end this run that Gavin is on. And I've been thinking I can't even be that mad at Foreman for doing what he did to me last week because I picked him up mid-season last year and he was like a RB1 tank for like a 4-week stretch. It was this week 7 to 10 stretch. I had him on my team and he was like low-key backpacking me to wins.
Back with the
Apologize
Panthers.
for the slander
Yeah.
earlier, Foreman.
A weird time. Him and Chief.
Hey, who knows if I would have gotten my fake championship if I didn't pick him up. So shout out to Foreman. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't have any reasoning to pick Jackson other than narrative. So
I'm also going Jackson for narrative. I think this
Oh
is
my
Jackson's
gosh.
personal battle of Thermopylae. 300 Spartans holding the battle pass.
Right.
Against the Athenians. I think that's what we got going on here. Passowitz +3. I'm taking Passowitz money line. Actually, I'm raising the stake.
Hammer it.
I'm
funny one.
hammering it. I think it's a mortal lock. Locking balls, if you will.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Dealing with
ain't no
fishy.
way Gavin keeps going to 8-0. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. Can't happen. Next matchup, Wingfield and Spencer, who's -3. There's a 3 and 4 matchup. I don't know. This is not super like, I guess it does have playoff implications because one of them is going to be 3 and 5, and it's not like they have a bunch of points. Actually, Wingfield might have a bunch of points scored.
He has I think 800
yeah.
plus.
Wingfield's got 800, which is top 6. Spencer really needs to win this week because if he goes down and doesn't have as much points scored, it's going to be hard to come back from. He's got the Houston stack against Carolina. Carolina is a bad fantasy defense only because they're so bad and they get blown out. And so teams like don't keep pushing against them. So it'll be, interesting to see maybe one of Pierce and Stroud go off. McCaffrey, best running back, best fantasy asset in the game. New addition, Addison. Hopefully he can repeat, but it is on the road in Green Bay. Michael Pittman might be losing some work to Downs. But I mean, 14 targets the week before. I think Michael Pittman's going to be fine. George Kittle, it's George Kittle. He's either going to go 15 or plus or 2 points. And then Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin. On the other side, you have Gabe Davis, who ends the touchdown streak and becomes irrelevant with 3 and 1. So this is just a brutal player to have in your lineup. Guy that you don't really want to rely on, but you have to keep him in because of his 20 plus upside. DJ Moore without Fields seems, obviously is much worse. Darren Waller had a good week last week. And then he's got Ayuk and St. Brown, great receiver duo. Javonte and Mixon, not as great running back duo, but hopefully, actually, they have really bad matchups too. So I'm going to take Spencer -3. I think, Tua is super inconsistent. He's got 2 30-point games with him besides that and the 28-point game. He's been like not the best. You're hurting if you get 13, 16, 15. 22 is good, but I don't know. I don't know. New England's a good defense and they looked really good last week. So I'm going to take Spencer -3. Yeah, I think that's I think I'm going to go with that. Welcome back, Gavin.
I'm gonna take Jordan Davis +3 for very personal reasons that are Jordan Davis is in my division, and the division that is the Bud Light drinkers has been soft. Bunch of weenies in the Bud Light drinkers division.
Ooh,
I don't think they get it done. Just that's no real reasons, no stats, no players, just I don't think the Bud Light drinkers have that dog in them, and the Monkey Fisters do.
To
when
counter
did this
that,
happen?
This is a new expected stat enjoyers.
I've already picked myself and Jackson for narrative-based reasons. So to add to the narrative, the Bud Light drinkers are completing the sweep this week.
Woo!
The name after we do it, we're gonna change the name to Coors Light drinkers because so it's gonna
Hell
be.
yeah.
I'm actually parlaying me, Spencer, and Jackson money line.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
If it hits, then
Plus
we
2,000.
change
that
our
the
name.
NFC
We change
South
the division
parlay.
name, and our division is trending upward. After
I guess I missed the Pasowitz matchup. You're picking Pasowitz, even though last week Jameer Gibbs had 9 catches and Tyreek Hill had 11 catches.
And I like
Yeah.
that
I hate
matchup to battle of Thermopylae, just for context. Just
I see what you mean.
just to let you know, when you go back and edit, I don't know if you'll even see it. I don't think any
I'll
of us
watch it.
picked you.
That's
We
fair.
all-
I'll
we're
pick
all-
Jackson too. For the
We all bought the
narratives.
12 upsetting 1 narrative. It's a
I love
minus.
it.
It's a +3. So
When are you going to see that?
yeah, good point.
It's
who we on?
a sus line, man. That's all I'm saying.
Vegas knows something,
These
bro.
sleeper lines are weird, man.
Yeah, bro. They're sharp though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like Jackson's team is always like, oh, I think it'll put up like 115, and then sleeper always
95.
super undercuts it, and I'm like, that's weird. And then Jackson puts up like 90, and I'm like, okay, you are right for the 5th week in a row.
Luke, did you already say who you're taking? Oh, you took
Yeah,
Wingfield.
I said Wingfield because the Bud Light drinkers are soft.
Gavin, who you got?
I'll take the underdog.
Wingfield +3.
St. Brown had 19 targets last week.
Yeah, that's wild.
19. It's crazy.
Holy freak.
5.3 yards per catch.
That's how you lose a game right there.
That's not even a check down. That's like a drag route.
That's just
That's how he
spamming them.
runs. They're just like crossers and drags.
He's just hot route drag. It just
Mesh.
bad.
They spam mesh. No wonder they didn't score points.
Dude, I just said that joke like 30 seconds ago and no one laughed. I'm getting
Really?
Yeah,
What? I didn't hear that.
That's
why I didn't laugh.
I guess I mumbled it. My bad.
That's
They
why I
really
didn't hear
did
it.
spam Wesh.
I didn't
Mesh.
laugh. I mean, that's
Because
why I
look,
didn't laugh.
who was the other one?
Gibbs had 9 targets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gibbs
what
on the
the
wheel route,
freak?
bruh. Gives us the red route. 9
Goff turned
catches.
into his Rams self on that game.
9
Yeah, he
catches
did.
and 11 rushing attempts is some elite usage.
That's
Oh,
Jeff
nice.
Fisher, Jared Goff throwing the ball.
That's some dangerous usage right there. All right, next matchup, Jack and LJ, 3 and 4 Jack. Favored against 4 and 3 LJ -5. I'm gonna take Jack, the newly acquired Amari Cooper, new look Amari Cooper, George Pickens, and Derrick Henry. 3 starters, only lost. I guess he lost 2 starters. Rashad White looks pretty
Plus
good
one
actually.
starter.
He's getting really good usage. 13 carries, 6 catches, only 2.6 yards per carry. But Atlanta's run defense is pretty good. But now they're on the road against Buffalo. That's not great. Hopefully, there's a shootout for Jack here. That would bode well. I'm taking Jack -5. On the other side, you got Brock Purdy. Hunt with no Ford though could be good. Jamar Chase against San Francisco also could be good. I mean, yeah, this is a new look. Dalton Kincaid, Rashee Rice. Ooh, Rashee
Trouble
Rice against
Dobbs.
Denver.
Ooh,
Hold on now. Hold on now.
It's
I
a
see the
blowout.
path.
Oh, now this is a pretty good line. -5. Ooh, I'm still taking -5.
Yeah. William, I don't know if I would want to be the guy on record saying Rashad White and looked good in the same sentence.
I
He's
said
been
his usage, right? Didn't I say
producing, yes.
usage look good?
I think you said,
Got them up.
quote,
He's
Rashad
so
White looks
inefficient.
good, which,
Oops.
yeah,
I say
but
usage.
he has gotten great usage against some tough defenses, so I think he's on the up. I think hopefully.
Him and Chuba Hubbard should team. I mean, him and Miles Sanders should team up as being the worst efficient running backs.
Oh my gosh.
It's not looking good.
Can't be as bad as
No,
It is as bad.
-0.2 is pretty bad. I will give you
9
that.
for -2. Anyway, I don't want to steal the thunder of this epic game right here.
Yes.
Gavin, who you got?
I think that Jack's gonna need some time for his team to adjust to the new players, so I'm gonna go with LJ.
All right. Longworth?
I'm gonna go LJ as well, just because I have to wish my fellas the best.
Jack,
I'll go
I hope they
Jack.
find some wins on their new home.
You going Jack? Jack?
Yeah, Jack, because we have the
Solidarity.
same name.
Siege.
Valid.
I'm
He is
loving
Adrian
the
Brown.
reasons this week. These are fire.
This is like when a girl picks their March Madness bracket.
That's what I was exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Pull
skip.
up that Travis Kelsey tweet.
We're gonna skip Longworth and Max and come back. Next is Bret and James. A -1 for James. Third best in the power rankings versus Bret. I think is 6th in the power rankings. This is really cool. This is really exciting because Bret's team is back. He last time his team was full strength, I think they dropped like 140. Yeah, 140 last time they were full strength. Last week, not exactly where is he?
140.
Not
There.
exactly 140. But James didn't have a good week either, I don't think. 95. So both teams had an underperforming week. They both need a win. I'm gonna take let's run through this here. Does Eckler bounce back against Chicago? Chicago actually had a good defense last week.
That's the Sunday night game.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh.
The Chargers have to win, bro. If they
Oh.
lose, they're cooked.
They already are cooked. They got that Asian fan.
Brees Hall, Jalen Waddle, Thielen, Pitts, Swift, Osborne. This is a really good team. Like it's Osborne's not the best flex, but as long
And
as Jefferson's out, as long as Jefferson's out, he's gonna get work. On the other side, this is such a fun roster because it's like you do not expect Myers or Kirk to be wide receiver 2 worthy, and then Raheem Mostert was the best pick of the draft coming in the 12th round as the running back 2 this year. So James is obviously have a really good team. There's an interesting Herbert Eckler. Hopefully Herbert will pass touchdowns not to Eckler, vice versa if you're Bret. Oh my gosh, -1. I could go either here. I think James rights the ship. I'm gonna go James -1.
I think I'm gonna call my shot here. I think that Dak Prescott rights the ship this week.
Hey, I
think
just
he's
said
gonna-
that.
Did you?
I said
All
right the
right.
ship.
I think Dak's gonna be shit this week, and I think that James is gonna win. I got my money on James.
No, I said right the ship. I didn't say Dak
Oh, you
is
didn't
gonna be
say Jack.
good.
All right. Well.
So you can still go with Bret.
All right. Yeah, I'm still right. I think Dak figures it out. I
Okay,
think
cool.
that the naval, the maritime analogies are escaping me at the moment.
Now, has Dak been historically good coming out of a bye? Yeah, pretty good. A home game out of a bye.
He didn't.
Didn't play there. I don't know. Didn't play there. Good grief.
This dude don't play.
He has never had a home game after the bye. All right. Well, I tried, guys. I tried.
There is no narrative. We tried.
This is new
Yeah.
ground. This is new territory.
Uncharted waters to up the maritime analogy.
He's been in Dallas for 2 weeks. Well, we don't know what's going on.
All
Well,
right. Yeah.
I think just off principle, getting the ability to take James -1 with his team, I just got to take it. I think James's team is just disgustingly good. And it'd be a crime to go against them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's only fitting that this is such a rivalry, James and Bret. It's only fitting that it's a 1-point spread. I really think, Bret was a team we were kind of dunking on early in the season, but I mean, some players have just kind of worked out. Breece Hall's not crap anymore. Adam Thielen's an elite wide receiver 1, apparently. And now his team is actually pretty good. But I think I have to reward James here because he actually drafted his team. And Taysom Hill is not going to score 5 points. This dude is going to get his normal usage. And lately, they've actually been using him as a tight end. So he's going to get his normal, 5 Wildcat snaps a game where he'll score a touchdown on probably at least one of those. And now he's an actual tight end on top of that. I think he might be if that continues, he'll be a top 5 tight end rest of season, which is crazy. But
yeah, not included is his rushing work. Here it is, 5 for 18 and a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, if he gets in the end zone.
And Foster Moreau, I mean, let's be real, bro. He's cooked. It's the Taysom Hill show.
Actually, I think he might be hurt. Oh, he dropped it. Yeah,
he might
that's
be
what it was.
Cancer.
having mental health issues after last week.
On top of his cancer remission, that's brutal.
Yeah, I know.
He's also in remission.
Hard knock
catching
life for
passes.
Foster Moreau.
Did we all get a chance to speak
I
on
think
this one?
we all did, yeah.
All
I
right,
think
game
it's
of the
crazy.
week. What did you say, Kevin?
I was gonna say I think it's crazy that one of these teams will be 3 and 5.
Yeah,
You know?
honestly, that is crazy. Game of the week: 5-2 Longworth -8 against 3-4 McClendon. This is the McClendon team. This isn't the same McClendon team that we thought dominated the draft. Obviously, he still has Mahomes and Kelsey, which scored 80 points last week. Adds Devontae Adams, adds Aaron Jones. Hopefully, heals. But this is disappointing. I mean, it's a new look team. You have Ridley, and you have some name recognition definitely. But I'm still gonna take Longworth -8. Longworth's back. He's got CD Lamb. He's got Nico in the lineup now. This right now, to me, is the best lineup. The best lineup you could roll out. I mean, he's projected 130. Sleeper thinks this as well. But this is the best lineup in the league right now. And so it'd be foolish to take. Well, I mean, it is -8. I think Longworth wins by more than 8. So I'm gonna take -8 Longworth. Jack, who you got?
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at Luke's team, and it's the most complete team based on what I'm looking at.
These.
Yeah, at least right now. I feel like I have to go Luke, but Max has just been so hot lately. And Denver, normally what would help Denver in this matchup is their defense is good, and they'll probably lose to the Chiefs 21 or 17-3. But no, Denver's defense sucks. Literal dick and balls this year. So I think Mahomes and Kelsey could combine for another 70 points, which could be detrimental. Holy crap, I didn't realize they had that good a week last week.
It's great.
Yeah, so that's always something you gotta have in the back of your mind. But assuming they don't have an incredible week, I think Luke's gonna win. So I have to take Luke.
Max's running backs are terrible.
Yeah, they're not any good.
Max, we need to make a trade, bro. I
Yeah, I
got
got
the running
running
backs.
Call me.
No, you don't. No, you don't, Jack.
I got the running backs. All right, let's be real here.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Gavin, who you got?
I'll go with Max. I think I need to get some. The only way Max can win, in my eyes, is with some serious underperformance by Luke's combined with some very, very poor Broncos defense. But I don't see any reason why those things can't happen, so I'm going to go roll with Max with this. I'm not sure that Saquon is over his injury already, and that's a tough matchup against the Jets. So I'm calling that. I think he doesn't right the ship against the Jets. He wrongs the ship, if you will.
I'm picking myself because I'm a big baller.
I want to
failed
be
to
a
consider that.
baller.
Your team doesn't like to practice on Wednesday.
No, they take rest days
That's some vets.
because they're so freaking good. If they practice as much as everyone else, it'd just be unfair.
You know, this is embarrassing, bro. You got 2 commanders
Oh no!
and then 2 backups. I mean, the backups aren't bad.
Isn't
Spears
that
and
the whole
Williams
point
aren't
of a
bad.
bench?
Yeah. I guess so. I'm just noticing the 2 commanders.
Hey, man, Jahan Dotson's going to break out. Trust.
I bet his under on receiving last week because
why you don't
it
bet
was
under.
terrible. And I'm a Stevie. Of course, after taking holder snaps in practice, he's going to just have his best game of the year. Of course. No, I'm just fine.
For a whopping 9 points, best game of the year.
Yeah,
That's
best game of the year.
Love to see the improvement.
It's funny because, like, after week 4 of him still sucking balls, I was like, yeah, I kind of want Jahan Dotson, dude. And you were like, yeah, I'm, not just giving him up for nothing. And now he's pretty much nothing.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of
That
people.
is tragic, dude.
Yeah.
He's droppable.
No, me and Gavin were talking about it. He's droppable.
Bro, the freaking Commanders threw the ball like 56 times in a row or something, and they threw it to Dotson like once that whole time.
Longworth, you have like 12 hours until this podcast goes off.
Yeah,
Like,
start
so
sending
value.
trade offers. 5 fab for Jahan Dotson.
I'll take it. I'll do it.
Well, that's gonna do it, I think.
Huh.
That's gonna do it for week
Zach.
8, episode 2 of the podcast, the Fantasy Council. I know you missed us. Good luck out there, fellas. Hopefully your bets hit. Jack, good luck on the parlay. See you in the next one.
Where's Light Park?